Guys, let's be honest. Life moves way too fast for you to be standing around worried if you have BO. I don't care what you're doing. You could be in a job interview. You could be out on a date. Worrying about BO is the last thing you need to be doing. Enter Mando. Whole body deodorant, and you will never have to worry about BO again. Mando isn't just for your pits. It is safe everywhere. Mando clinically has been proven to block odor all day and up to 72 hours. Choose a solid stick with mandelic acid, or go with a spray deodorant, which is perfect for the hard-to-reach spots, and it's offered in scents like Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, and Bourbon Leather. And you want to know what's perfect, guys? Get the Mando Starter Pack, particularly if you're a new customer. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with my exclusive code. And guys, that's over 40% off. Go to shopmando.com and that exclusive code I was telling you about, Chael. Like the famous gangster. The code is Chael. Enter that at mando.com. Or to make it really easy, I put some links below.
Hey son, when I tell you to type something in, I want you to type it into chat GDP, okay? Start with Ilia Topuria and just ask it if Ilia has ever lost. Show me it when it's ready. So, all right, here, now ask it. Ask it, is Ilia Topuria going to fight Islam Makhachev?
Okay.
Next. Put the word next. So, what is going on? Like, we get wasted call-outs all the time. And we get them by unconsequential athletes. We get potential big fights that get called out and they get blown by meaningful pay-per-view stars. Well, we had some kind of something a week ago where we had Alex Pereira in the cage with Dricus Duplessis. Like the potential for a moment right there, the potential for a something's about to happen moment. And cooler heads, and hey, we're not in the same weight class, and I just beat up your guy, and I'm gonna go celebrate, and it's got nothing to do with you. I mean, right? Nobody was wrong in that situation. I'm just sharing for you. I'm sharing for you a huge, what could have been moment. Like there was somewhere where Alex Pereira runs into Tom Aspinall. Like just runs into, they're both doing something for the company. They're at some media day. And whether it was Aspinall or whether it was Pereira, but they were smart enough to grab a camera, turn and face off, and have somebody take a picture. And that picture was worth 1,000 words. I have not stopped talking about those two fighting, all because of that picture. I pushed and campaigned for it at UFC 300. I pushed and campaigned for it when they got put on the same card at MSG. But it was all because of that one photo. It was a big deal. Meanwhile, you get reports Conor McGregor is going to box Logan Paul, which is just silly. And Conor McGregor, a great performer and magician, but has now called out 11 people in a row, none of which he fought. I couldn't even list them all for you. When I started bringing the Pacquiaos in and the Crawford and that redheaded kid and all the MMA guys and the bare knuckle guys, it's 11. He's at 11. 11. The top draw who never calls for things that he doesn't have the power to have gets turned down publicly 11 times, which is about 9 more times than anyone in their entire career. All right. So, in the vein of why waste the energy, in the vein of not understanding what we're doing here, in the vein of You, the audience, has never been explained, not one single time by anybody ever, what a participation clause of a fighter's contract means. And you smart marks out there have a loose idea that, well, if brought in on pay-per-view points, I can get a piece of the action. You got a loose feeling for it, but it's never been explained to you what it means. And what a colossal waste of effort, a waste of a call-out is once you enjoy the significance of participation, activation. Hey, every fighter's got the clause, but it does not activate until you defend a championship. I mean, it really is a very, very amazing thing, and it's the dream in our sport. And it's the reason why you don't have guys that are eligible for the participation clause wasting their breath. Which way I go, son? Straight? So, what in the hell is Ilia Topuria calling out Islam Makhachev for the 8th time in 9 days? Ilia Topuria is a star. That's true. Islam Makhachev is a star. That is now true. Islam Makhachev, up until 3 weeks ago, had never headlined a pay-per-view, and he shouldn't have. And please don't tell me that the night he fought Dustin, that you really think that he was top of the bill. They went out of their way to find themselves a Dustin Poirier. So now you have Islam. Not only did Islam headline a pay-per-view, they broke up one of the most compelling fights of the entire card. Benny Darouche is loved. Money Moicano was loved. I want to see that fight so bad. I hope they get that thing back together. But it was so important to them as a company to keep Islam the final walk of the night. It's important that you understand that. Because nobody's over until they're over. Nobody's a big deal and a fan favorite until they are. Islam's there. Now, to speak to how big Ilia Topuria is, okay, he goes on the Full Send podcast. And there are people that beg to get on the Full Send podcast. There are leaders in this nation, and there are world leaders who kiss the ring to try to get on the Full Send podcast. That's just the truth. These guys can get anybody they want. Ilia Topuria goes on. And Ilia Topuria, for the eighth time, talked about, called out Islam Makhachev. What is that about, guys? So, Islam doesn't call out anybody. He just doesn't. He doesn't believe in that. He doesn't believe in that we're here for the money. He believes, we're not here for the attention. He doesn't believe it. He is an athlete. He is here to compete, and he is here to win. Such a refreshing mindset. You're gonna miss Khabib and his team when they're gone. But at any rate, so there's nothing unusual about Islam not responding to the call out. There's nothing unusual about Islam not stirring the pot trying to get the call out. But there is something highly unusual about Ilia Topuria, who really doesn't miss shots, using these opportunities to stay on Islam. And don't forget the overlay, guys. Dana made a comment 4 days ago on Islam, and he said, we have something really special for Islam's next fight. None of us know what that means. I cannot begin to believe that something really special for Islam's fight is that he got to fight a 45-pounder. I can't imagine that. That wouldn't be special to Islam. That would be a super fight. It wouldn't be special to Islam. He's already fought a 45-pounder. He's already fought a 45-pounder as a world champion. He already fought a 45-pounder. There was a world champion and the reigning number one pound for pound. Like, there would be nothing special about that for him. But meanwhile, we don't have anything else going on for him. And I mean, we have nothing going on for him. Sarukian is clearly the right guy. And again, that's already been stated. You were the right guy. You had your offer. and they're going to move on. So now the question is, well, who do we move on to? And even if you move on to Charles, if you're somebody in that camp, Charles hates that fight. Charles is not of the mind of let's go fight. Is like, even if you move on to that, you're moving on to a rematch. So there's just nothing going on right there at 55. At least it's obvious for us. The same can be said for 45. Ilia Topuria, for reasons unknown, was announced that he was going to fight Volkanovski. Now, the reason I say for reasons unknown, he's what, 1-3 in his last 4, however that math works out. 1-3 in his last 4 and had to get waken up twice in a row. And Diego Lopez is sitting there without an opponent. That's really difficult for me to believe. But that doesn't mean it's not true. There's plenty of things that are difficult for me to believe. I mean, the one thing about MMA and the one consistent that we have is we are going to fiercely adhere to whatever rules we make up as we go. But it is clear that Topuria doesn't want to fight either of those guys. The clearest thing with Topuria is not anything personal against those guys or even a confidence in himself. It's not even a hatred for Islam. The clearest thing, if you listen to each Topuria interview, and he's made a fan out of me, I do listen to each interview. The only constant is that he doesn't want to fight at 45 anymore. He just wants to be at 155. You can actually bring him any goddamn opponent you want. If you will pay him his money and you will let him weigh 10 pounds more, that's truly, at least as constant goes, that's the one theme in every interview. Ironically, that's the one constant in every Islam interview. Islam would like to be a 170-pounder. So we're in a very interesting place. Topuria is not a fool. Ever. Topuria is sharp. Always. And he used a media opportunity on one of the great outlets. And he used his time the way he wanted to use it. And it was on Islam, who, by the way, is looking for an opponent. What do we make of that? Those are the clues, detective. You solved the crime. Tell me. Leave me a comment below.